Hi, I'm Miles Brandman, and this is the 2019 Lexus GS F. It's a glitzy V8 powered rear drive sedan, and we're gonna go take a look. And there she is. So what exactly is the Lexus GS F? Well, when it was introduced several years ago, it was intended to be a rival for BMW's M5 and Mercedes-AMG's E63. But today, those cars have continued to mature with sophisticated all-wheel drive systems and forced induction, and they're just all around better sports sedans, while the GSF has just sort of stuck to its guns with a naturally aspirated V8 and rear drive. But while those other cars have continued to go up in price, the GSF has stayed relatively affordable for its performance. So let's start with the design walk around, and then we will go into performance details, pricing, so on and so forth. So up here at the front, we have these lightning bolt shaped daytime running lights. Below, some pretty neat headlights that have a three-dimensional design to them. Large air intakes below that, and then a carbon fiber piece integrated within the bottom of the Lexus spindle grille. This dark chrome, or almost black, painted surround for the rest of the spindle grille flows very well with the carbon fiber. Certainly an aggressive front end, despite its aging aesthetic. Over here at the side, we can start to see some of the other performance upgrades. We've got 19-inch dark painted wheels with 6-piston front brakes, wrapped in some sticky Michelin tires, F badging, and an air channel just behind the front tires. This one does not have some of the optional carbon fiber bits that are available on the GSF. This is a pretty bare bones model, so some of the things that can be carbon fiber are the mirror caps. Step back so you can see the full profile. Basically looks like a GS sedan that's been lowered a bit and on some bigger tires. Still looks good in my opinion. And as we get to the back, we can see these detailed and pretty cool LED light signatures for the taillights. Below that, black painted diffuser and quad exhaust ports. Looking good. And above that, we have a carbon fiber spoiler coming off the trunk lid. Checking out the interior now. It is a mid-size sedan, so the rear passengers have a bit of room to enjoy the ride. Nice detailing on the seat inserts. Cool brushed metal for the seat backs, the front seat backs. Carbon fiber door trim and Alcantara liner. Blue contrast stitching. I climbed back there and had plenty of room. Front cabin. It's now a very familiar cabin for Lexus. It hasn't quite modernized just yet, but there are some cool tech details that I'll get to in just a sec. Same thing as the rear doors, that carbon fiber Alcantara and blue stitching. This one has the upgraded sound system. Mark Levinson, I believe, is the maker's name. Front seats are even more aggressive than the rears, of course. Nice bolstering, good support, and F badging monogrammed into the seats. Climb inside and fire her up. So we got over here is a cool digital dial right front and center that manages the tachometer, and then you've got your speedo, smaller off to the right, and then a reconfigurable digital TFT display to the left. We can see Alcantara wrapping for the dashboard with more of that blue accent stitching. Nice perforation on the steering wheel. These chunky paddles for shifting the 8-speed automatic transmission. I like the brushed metal work on the steering wheel and more F badging down below. Big 10-inch widescreen infotainment, and Lexus's operation of said infotainment, not the smoothest, not the most intuitive, but it does work. It's also not the quickest. That's in need of an upgrade, I would say. I do like the analog clock front and center in the dash. Some brushed metal controls, more carbon fiber detailing for the cup holder and seat heating and ventilation. Perforated leather and blue accent stitching on the gear selector. You've got a few drive modes here: Eco, Normal, Sport. And when you go through them, it changes the display. There's your Sport mode. Looking good. Yeah, the exhaust gets throatier as you rev it out a bit. Alcantara wrapping on the center console, more of that carbon fiber. Oh, it also has a snow mode. I did not know that. Learning things. More carbon fiber along the dashboard. And a moonroof. So definitely a premium cabin, though not quite as nice as what we've seen out of BMW and Mercedes-AMG lately. But when you look at the price tags between the two, it kind of starts to make sense. So this car, as equipped, is $85,000. It starts at $84,000. You look at a BMW M5, that's $102,000. Mercedes-AMG, equally expensive. So you really are saving quite a bit of money. But now we're going to talk about performance. How did this thing stack up? Well, its 5.0 liter naturally aspirated V8 motor makes 467 horsepower. That's in comparison to, yikes, 600 horsepower from both the M5 and tiny bit more from that AMG E63 at 603 horsepower, at least the S badge model. So 0 to 60 for this one, 4.5 seconds, plenty fast, but nowhere near the just under 4-second times that we see from its two German rivals. And its top speed is, I think, 167 miles an hour. Its rivals are limited in their top speeds, except if you get the S version of the AMG, it'll let you go up to something like 175 miles an hour. So yeah, performance definitely not in the GSF's favor. Price certainly is. And in terms of how it handles, it has a bit more body roll than I would like out of a super sport sedan, certainly by comparison to its two direct rivals, the Germans, which are much flatter, much more neutral, and certainly more aggressive in their velocity coming out of corners. This really just feels like a very comfortable cruiser with a nice engine note, plenty of power. I would love to commute in this. And that's pretty much all she wrote on the 2019 Lexus GS F. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.